Welcome back to Fruitful Living. Thank you for continuing this series with me. If it is your first time joining me, no worries. Each episode stands on its own. You can return and listen to any episode in any series and feel like you got a complete moment of peace and Jesus. The last thing we need in our lives is feeling like we need to constantly catch up. A little housekeeping before we dive in. If you've received the Soul Reset audio gift from me or my weekly newsletter and you haven't responded yet, that's okay. I appreciate that you're here in this moment right now. If you're not getting me in your inbox, I have added the sign up in the show notes. I share things you can only find in my newsletter, like giveaways, what's happening behind the scenes, and more. So let's get into it. Today we're shining the light on the shadow of our soul. We're shining the light on the sin of laziness and procrastination. I might call it resting, or maybe I'm waiting for the right time or the right circumstance, when really I'm just avoiding. I'm avoiding because I'm procrastinating. I'm avoiding because I'm afraid. I'm avoiding because I don't want to feel the shame of not finishing something or not doing it good enough. I'm afraid if I start something, I won't finish it. I'm afraid if I do something big, I'll fail and I'll feel ashamed. So I procrastinate. I know this now. I get it. I was finding comfort in the dark instead of facing the work that God has put in my path. In the parable of the talents, Matthew chapter 25, verses 14 through 30, a master entrusts 3 servants with his money before a journey. 2 servants invest their talents, doubling their value, while the third, driven by fear, buries his in the ground. When the master returns, he rewards the first 2 for their faithfulness, inviting them into his joy. However, he reprimands the fearful servant as wicked and lazy for failing to use what he was given. This parable teaches us that God expects us to actively use the gifts and resources he provides to advance his kingdom. The servant wasn't wicked and lazy because he did something evil. He was bad because he did nothing. Yesterday, I was being lazy and procrastinating and scrolling the internet and came across a creator that was talking about Jesus' journey from Jerusalem to the Garden of Gethsemane. Let's look at it. In John chapter 12, John talks about Jesus arriving in Jerusalem, and great crowds gathered to greet him, shouting, "Hosanna." This chapter is also where he predicts his death. John chapter 12, verses 23 and 24. Jesus replied, "The hour has come for the Son of Man to be glorified. Very truly, I tell you, unless a kernel of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it remains only a single seed. But if it dies, it produces many seeds." John chapter 13, verses 1 and 2. It was just before the Passover festival. Jesus knew that the hour had come for him to leave this world and go to the Father. Having loved his own who were in the world, he loved them to the end. The evening meal was in progress, and the devil had already prompted Judas, the son of Simon Iscariot, to betray Jesus. And in John chapter 14, verses 28 through 31, you heard me say, I am going away, and I am coming back to you. If you loved me, you would be glad that I'm going to the Father, for the Father is greater than I. I have told you now before it happens, so that when it does happen, you will believe. I will not say much more to you, for the prince of this world is coming. He has no hold over me, but he comes so that the world may learn that I love the Father and do exactly what my Father has commanded me. Come now, let us leave. John goes on in chapter 15 and 16 to tell of the final teachings of Jesus before his crucifixion. And chapter 17 in John, which is full of Jesus' prayers, starts with, after Jesus said this, he looked toward heaven and prayed, Father, the hour has come. Glorify your Son, that your Son may glorify you. For you granted him authority over all people, that he might give eternal life to all those you have given him. Now this is eternal life, that they know you, the only true God, and Jesus Christ, whom you have sent. I have brought you glory on earth by finishing the work you gave me to do. And now, Father, glorify me in your presence with the glory I had with you before the world began. And ends with verse 25. Righteous Father, though the world does not know you, I know you, and they know that you have sent me. I have made you known to them and will continue to make you known in order that the love you have for me may be in them and that I myself may be in them. John chapter 18 starts right back up. When he had finished praying, Jesus left with his disciples and crossed the Kidron Valley. On the other side there was a garden, and he and his disciples went into it. Now Judas, who betrayed him, knew the place because Jesus had often met there with his disciples. So Judas came to the garden, guiding a detachment of soldiers and some officials from the chief priests and the Pharisees. They were carrying torches, lanterns, and weapons. I'm going to stop there, but let's look at this. Jesus was in Jerusalem. The people were rejoicing and celebrating him. He was good. But John 12:23, Jesus replied, the hour has come for the Son of Man to be glorified. He knew the time had come. Jesus and the disciples returned to traveling. And in John 18:1, they crossed the Kidron Valley on the way to the Garden of Gethsemane. So they started in Jerusalem, the holy city. Itself means possession of peace, and crossed the Kidron Valley, which in the Bible related to sorrow and judgment and death, to the Garden of Gethsemane, a place whose name literally means oil press. Jesus followed God's calling, left the city of peace, crossed the valley of death, and arrived at the oil press to fulfill the will of the Father and die on the cross for us. The least we can do is follow Paul's instructions in Colossians chapter 3, verses 23 and 24. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters. The grace is that even small tasks become sacred when done for Him. To shine light on this darkness in our soul, the sin of laziness and procrastination, we have to trade our self-comfort for a spirit of action. We have to stop asking, will this be easy? And start asking, will this be faithful? We can start moving from hiding our talents to using them for the Lord. Do you have something tugging at your heart? Do you have a talent you've been burying? Have you been avoiding something God has called you to do? If you're ready to stop hiding in the shadows of laziness and procrastination and step out of the rut and start moving in the direction God has called you, comment the word move down below. And until next time, stay fruitful.